Okay. Thank you everyone for joining us. My name is Jeffrey Descala. I am the Grant Support Specialist here at the Hampton Roads Planning District Commission, or HRPDC. And I am joined by Jaquil Tatum, um, who is also a part of our procurement staff. I want to thank everyone for being here and for your interest in working with the HRPDC. So thank you again for your time. I do want to notify you that we are recording this webinar. This is a public meeting, pre-proposal conference for our on-call consultant services request for proposals, or RFP. This recording will be posted on our website under the HRPDC public notices. And we will also include a link on EVA or the Virginia Business Opportunities website. All questions that you have regarding the RFP should be written either in the chat or in the Q&A. The Q&A is preferred, but the chat is also fine. We will not be responding to most of these questions today. We'll be formally responding to questions in written addenda. If there's a question and we would like some clarification, we may ask you to turn on your mic or write some additional information in the chat. But as I said, questions will be responded to in written addenda. Only the written addenda will be binding. Any oral or other interpretations or clarifications are without legal effect. So with all of that being said, I will go ahead and get started. So again, this is a pre-proposal conference for our request for proposals in soliciting proposals for multiple on-call services contracts. These contracts will enable us to issue task orders as needed to fulfill our mission and respond quickly to the emerging initiatives of regional programs and the directives of the organization or our commission and its numerous advisory committees, subcommittees, and working groups.
Oh, my purse.
I grabbed.
Thanks.
To say 1 hour long calls.
Yes.
Just a bit of background on the HRPDC. We are located in Hampton Roads, Virginia. That's in the southeast corner of Virginia. And our mission is to serve our local elected officials through a forum along with their chief administrators and decide on issues of regional importance. So to that end, our focus is entirely regional. We don't focus on individual local government initiatives. We really come in and step up for the region when issues or concerns, planning, etc., moves to the regional level involving multiple local governments. So we provide them with planning, research, and analysis on matters that mutually concern multiple localities. The Hampton Roads Planning District Commission is one of 21 planning district commissions in the state of Virginia. And as I said, we facilitate local government and their cooperation. As a political subdivision, we represent 17 localities in Hampton Roads, which you can see labeled in the diagram there. So while many often refer to Hampton Roads as the 7 cities, We represent a region of 17 localities, including counties, cities, and a town, one town. The Planning District Commissions overall in Virginia function similarly to regional councils that exist in other states. So as I mentioned, this RFP is specifically for on-call services contracts. And we intend to award multiple contracts from this RFP. So this RFP has been divided into task groups. The contracts for resulting from this procurement will be on a task order basis. And so we've separated out the task into task groups, of which there are 4: policy, regulatory, and planning analysis, environmental and natural resources policy and compliance, integrated data and technology services, and emergency management and resilience planning. You can read more detail on each of these task groups in the RFP itself. I'll be happy to refer any questions to the content experts on our staff. One question that I will be responding to today that we have received in addenda, that we have received via email that I have not had the opportunity to post in addenda just yet, is about proposing to multiple task groups. So of the 4 task groups, our request is that you respond to all of the different content and tasks listed with each task groups, but your proposal may consist of proposing multiple task groups that you would be willing to provide services for. The question was, please clarify if the expectation is that each task group is a separate proposal or they can be combined into one submission. You only need to submit one combined proposal if you intend on proposing to multiple task groups. You do not need to submit multiple proposals. Further information about the structure and labeling of what should be in the content of a proposal proposing multiple task groups will be described in more detail in the next posted addenda. So the anticipated schedule for this RFP has been revised based on a number of factors, one of which I'll get to in just a moment. This has not been posted as a written addenda. It will be posted as a written addendum today by 5 p.m. But I wanted to cover it here as well. Because we were unable to do this pre-proposal conference until today, we will be accepting questions until August 14th. That's this Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So again, the deadline for any written questions is going to be Thursday, August 14th at 2 p.m. With that in mind, the final addendum will be posted no later than August 19th. If what we consider the final addenda is posted earlier, it will be labeled as the final addenda, but you can expect the final addendum on August 19th. The deadline for submission of proposals has been extended to September 9th, and proposals are due at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Oral, if requested, of potential offers, of offers, will be between September 22nd and October 4th. Once we have an idea of how many proposals there are, that window may be shortened. But it is currently planned for September 22nd through October 4th. And our intent to award is planned to be posted in October. Again, this revised schedule has not been posted yet as a written addenda. It will be posted by today at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Briefly going over the proposal evaluation criteria, these include services and approach. This criteria will evaluate how you propose meeting the needs of these on-call contracts and all of the different information in each of the task groups. It also includes qualifications and experience. So that will be of your firm and any information about previous experience in doing the consulting work in each of these task groups. Next is the capabilities, skills, and resources of your firm or organization, as well as the accessibility of the firm and key personnel. As we are a regional commission, we do want to emphasize providing information on your experience with multiple jurisdictions. Preferably, this is concerning work on projects or efforts that include multiple jurisdictions simultaneously, but it may include your work with multiple local governments over separate projects. Additionally, we have the DBE SWAM participation. That is the disadvantaged business enterprises and small women and minority-owned enterprises. The terms and conditions and details on that are rather extensive. So we ask that you read very carefully in the proposal that information. And finally, the costs and fees that should be included in your proposal as well. So proposal submission, again, the due date for the proposal has been revised and is extended to September 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. All proposal submissions are required to be made electronically. We will not accept any faxed, emailed, or mailed proposals. All submissions must be electronically via EVA, the electronic procurement system for Virginia. To be able to submit an EVA, you do have to be registered. So if you have not registered, I encourage you to go to EVA and register yourself as a seller in order to be able to submit a proposal. While I would love to be able to help you with the EVA system, in the event that there are a number of questions, we may be able to provide some screenshots, but seller side is largely inaccessible to us. So if you have any issues, I do suggest that you reach out to Eva for their technical support. And there are extensive pages and guides on the Eva website to assist you there. For the submission, all required documents are to be in PDF format. There are multiple pieces that are required for submission that you will need to upload, and they all should be in PDF format. If you wish to submit additional documentation that is not required, or if you wish to submit a required document in another format, in addition to the PDF, you may do so, and those files may be in another format. If it is a very specific type of file or one that is not universally available, you do run the risk of our not being able to access it, which is why all required documents are to be in PDF format. And we cannot guarantee that other file extensions will be readable to us. So please keep that in mind if you choose to use other file formats for additional documentation. Addenda. So the initial deadline for questions was last Thursday. And we're very pleased with how interested folks are. But we did receive over 150 questions. And so I'm working on it. I promise you that I am. We are going through the questions that many sent to us via email. Thank you so much for all of those questions. It has taken us a little longer to respond to them, especially given that some require responses from our other staff and are not just strictly procurement questions. So I very much appreciate your patience on that. The first addenda was posted on the 28th, the second on August 1st. There are not many questions in those. We are working on sorting through the questions that have been posted since and responding to them. I hope to get I hope to get a first addenda posted by Friday, depending on the number of questions we receive today and over the next few days. If they are not a repetition, we may have to post a final addenda. As I mentioned, the final addendum will be posted on August 19th. I hope to get the majority of questions responded to this week by Friday. But I just said that orally and it's not written down, so no one could hold me to that, but I'm going to do my best. As I mentioned earlier, again, apologize for all the repetition, but questions are due this Thursday, August 14th at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Oops, excuse me. Notifications. Please monitor the websites for required updates and information. I will remind you that all of these addenda listed here are binding. There will be additional information to clarify how you should include addenda in your proposal. They will go in the form section in the appendix of your proposal, but all addenda do need to be reviewed and included. You will find all of these addenda on our website under the public notices, and that link is listed here. The exact same information can be found on the Virginia Business Opportunities website, which is a part of EVA. If you go to the VBO website and search for HRPDC, you will find the on-call services RFP there. The link is very long and I did not include it here. If you are registered for this conference, if you emailed a question, or if you requested updates via our public notices website, you will receive notifications of this conference, of its recording, and all future posted addenda. So at this time, that's all the information that we have for you today. In addition to posting, to writing your questions here in either the chat or the Q&A, all questions should be submitted via email to procurement@hrpdcva.gov. Finally, and one more time, Thursday, August 14th, 2 p.m. is when questions are due. All responses will be documented via addenda by Tuesday, August 19th. I will be able to stick around and I'm going to review the questions that folks have posted. We are not responding formally to any questions here, but I may be able to give some clarification in the immediate. I do want to thank all of you for joining us and your interest in working with the HRPDC. We very much look forward to your proposals. Thank you so much for your time.
I just had a quick question. Will the attendee list be shared as well as part of the information about this conference?
I did not have an intention of sharing, but are you looking for opportunities to collaborate?
That's correct. There were a few firms that shared their information in the chat. And then also I see that several firms joined. So I think there's a potential for collaborations.
I will check with our administration just to be certain it's something I'm permitted to share. And if it is, I will do so.
Thank you. That would
Thank
be
you.
really helpful.
Absolutely.
Jeff, it looks like Clean Streams has a hand raised.
Oh, yes.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. This is Alexi with Clean Streams. For the Task 2 group, you're mentioning pollution prevention and hazardous materials compliance. Are you asking for support for on-the-ground IDDE services?
I can't immediately answer your question, but as long as you have posted about it, I will make sure to get that question to our staff.
Got it. Thank you.
I apologize. I'm a generalist, and some of this stuff is very technical, so I want to make sure I get you the appropriate answer.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you for your question.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
This is Ebony from Incept Data Solutions.
Yes.
So it does mention on-call services, but that the work will be issued on a task order basis. On-call, does that mean that, they have like 4 hours to report? I mean, I did pose this question. I was just wondering if you could maybe provide a little insight.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, you cut out for just a moment there. Would you mind repeating your question again?
Sure, because it's listed as on-call services. So I was just wondering, like, the typical turnaround time, once a task order is issued, how quickly, do we need submissions, or would these folks be interviewed? How does the selection process work?
Absolutely. So because the task groups and the number of projects under those groups are so varied, and because the HRPDC works in many different areas, there isn't a specific turnaround time for these task orders. These are not on-call services for a set time. It is more overall work orders for projects. I can say that there have been requests to view the task orders from the previous on-call services contract, and those will be made available. So you will have the opportunity to review those and get a better sense of what these task orders look like. So it isn't necessarily a number of hours or a specific turnaround time. All of that is based on the individual task order.
Perfect, thank you.
Absolutely.
Jeffrey, if you allow me to ask a question, please.
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you. So this was really insightful. Thank you. So I would like to know if like any of the references requirements that are in the RFP, can we meet these reference requirements through a subcontractor? Can we use the references as part of a response?
I do not know our policy on that. I will have to get back to you. And I will make certain that that response is in the addenda.
I would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. I see a hand up. Just give me a moment. Michael, please go ahead. Let me I think you're muted.
There I go. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes, I had a question above. It may have got lost in the chat, but my question was, the RFP speaks to providing, 3 projects in each group, whereas many of the projects we are looking at include services from each of those groups. And is it acceptable, for example, to provide a total of 12 projects, 3 for each of the 4 groups, indicating which of those services those projects address?
So I will get back to you formally on that. I will say that the key parts that I want to address is that the 3 projects are required. More is okay, but we ask that you limit to what is absolutely necessary, and specifically identifying the task group and the individual tasks within that group for why you're referencing that is extremely helpful to us.
Okay. So just to continue my example, so many resilience projects that you would do also likely have a high GIS component to them, as well as policy analysis and things like that. So they don't fit neatly into one group.
I think I better understand your question in that you're asking, can one project apply to multiple groups?
Yes, without having to be, assigned to a specific group, indicating all of the groups that may apply to.
Understood. So in both cases, we want to make sure that we understand how you're applying the project into meeting our future needs. And I will have to double check. But we are not focused on one project per task. I think as long as we are able to identify from the projects you provide, the coverage of the services, that will be sufficient. And I'll be able to answer that more clearly in the written addenda, just to make sure that my bumbling doesn't get messed up with responding to you.
Understood. Thank you very much.
But I appreciate the question, and I'll be able to clarify in written.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Scott Howell, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Jeffrey. That was helpful. I think the question was answered by someone asking if they need to submit more than one proposal for each category. But I want to clarify, if we only wanted to submit on 2 of the 4 categories, that's acceptable, correct?
By category, do you mean the individual task within a task group, or do you mean an entire task group?
A task group.
Yeah. So if you want to submit a proposal with more than one task group, you may do so with a single proposal, and we'll be identifying how that should be structured in the addenda.
Okay, all right. So we do not need to submit on all 4 task groups.
That is correct. You do not need to submit on all 4 task groups. Proposals are only required to submit to at least one task group.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. I can't see the full name, but Morgan, yeah. There we go.
Hello. Kind of playing off the projects, I'd just like to confirm, is it acceptable to include comparable projects where, say, a certain phase or a task order within like an on-call contract has been completed within the last 5 years, even if the overall contract may still be ongoing?
Again, I would like to respond to that in written, but I think as long as it is clear, as long as it is identified as to what part of the project you're referring to and how it fits into the overall project.
Perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely. It looks like Hannah.
Hi,
Hello.
thank you. Hi. Do you have a protocol for RFPs that might have to be bid out above and beyond the on-call? Sometimes things that are of a certain like dollar value or something have to be bid out separately from an on-call. I'm just curious.
Sorry, I think I missed the beginning of your question, Hannah.
Oh, okay. Do you have a sense or a protocol about tasks or RFPs that might be issued outside of the on-call, full and open? Is there like a dollar value or sort of a protocol you have for that?
There isn't a specific threshold for what is and is not a part of these on-call services contract in terms of a dollar amount. We do specify that we do specify that they are task order contracts, and there is no guarantee of a certain amount for those task orders. And there is not a specified limit at this time.
Great, thank you.
Absolutely. It looks like we have another question from Clean Streams.
Yes, I sure do. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Hey, quick question. You wouldn't happen to know or have any examples of natural resource and ecosystem management type projects that you might be requesting support on?
I do not know offhand, but
Okay.
I am happy to confer with our staff.
Got it. Thank you. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you. I do want to emphasize again, thank you all so much for your questions. We will be responding to them formally via the written addenda. And so I'd like to provide just a few more minutes here to give people the opportunity to make sure their questions are posted either in the Q&A or in the chat. And then we'll be wrapping things up. Again, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you being here, and we very much look forward to your proposals.
I had one last question. This is Ebony from Incept.
Yes.
So a lot of our past performance is on the federal side. So we wouldn't necessarily have that regional past work to write to, but we could probably equivocate the work we've done, like in the DoD sector for Army clients, things like that. Would that be acceptable, you think?
So we don't necessarily specify that it's regional jurisdictions. It's more multiple jurisdictions. So the multiple does not specifically indicate local, so much as it is dealing with more than one sort of agency, government, locality, etc.
Okay.
And I do, you know, the criteria are somewhat broad there. And I do think that you could demonstrate that in multiple ways.
Perfect. Thank you.
So I don't know if my screen is still up, but if you do have questions and they haven't made them into the chat or into the Q&A here, please remember that you can send us an email at procurement@hrpdcva.gov, and we will be accepting questions until Thursday. Again, thank you all so much for your time and for your interest. We appreciate your feedback and the opportunity to clarify the RFP. Thank you so much for joining us, and everyone, please have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.